Now, this type of problem, solving equation for a specific expression, here we have the question, if 4y times y plus 3 equals to 6x minus 8, then what is the value of 2y minus 3x? And that's the question. So we're going to use this expression. Now, part of the information when you read this question, you have part of the answer right here. We're looking for the value of this. So when you solve this, you know that part of your solving the equation will show this part of the expression connected as part of the answer. So part of the answer is right here. We just need to find, if you don't mind me writing, we actually need to find negative 2y minus x equals to some number. All right, so we're finding some number. Okay, so when you have questions like this, the question represents what is the value of the equation where it equates to, or what it equals to. All right, so that half the battle's already there. So let's go ahead and solve. So we're going to write 4y plus 3 equals to 6x minus 8. Okay. So normally you would solve this, but let me identify a step. You could divide this by 4 on both sides. The problem will be that you'll have a fraction, and some students, they try to avoid fractions. So one of the cases where you can use the multiplicative inverse if you can get rid of all of your whole number values or factors. But if you divide by 4 on both sides, you're going to have a fraction, and let's avoid that. Let's just only use it if we can cancel out whole number integers. Okay, so we'll go ahead and multiply 4y into this, right, using the distributive property. So there's a time that you can use the distributive property, or there's a time that you don't have to, and you just totally divide or use the multiplicative inverse to cancel out your whole integer numbers. Wait, so when you do the distributive property, perform the distributive property, am I right? The distributive property. All right. You're actually distributing 4 times y to 4 times plus 3. So you have 4y plus 12 equals to 6x minus 8. Okay. Now, the whole situation is that when we try to find the value of 2y minus 3x, we're trying to express this in terms of your y and your 3x together. So let's try to do that. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to get y by itself first. All right, so we're going to use the additive inverse. That means that we're going to take the opposite of the sign and perform it on both sides. Minus 12 and minus 12. Okay. And then divide. Excuse me. And then draw your line. Not divide, I apologize. Okay. Now, since we have like terms, we can perform the operations because the like terms are there. Cancel, you have 4y equals to 6x. A negative and a negative like terms, you have a negative 20. All right. And then we can move 6x onto the left side, and we'll use the additive inverse again. All right, because we want it to look like your form this, and you probably can see it right now. Okay, now let's do that. So we subtract 6x on both sides, and notice when we do that, this cancels. You have 4y minus 6x equals to a negative 20. All right. And notice that we cannot take the difference between these two, like subtract 4 and 6x, and you have 2xy. It doesn't work like that. It has to be the exact same variable terms. All right. Variable to variable, constant to constant, just like you have always done. Now, you almost finished, and now what we can do, we can use the multiplicative inverse. All right, so we can actually divide both sides by 2, by 3, or by 2. All right, since we have 2y, we can do by 2, because what we want to do is we want to show a value of y in terms of the constant or the coefficient being 2. So we select 2. So we divide 2 for both sides. All right, and notice 2 is common with all of the variables. So you're actually finding the least common multiple, all right, the least common factor, excuse me, which is 2. So everything is divided or divided by 2 on both sides. So you select a factor that will work for all of them, okay? All right, so you have 2y minus 3x equals to a negative 10. So the value for what is the value of 2y minus 3x? It is negative 10. All right, that is the value. All right, the value is negative 10. All right.